Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Back Porch Lounge. We are the Leaf Cutters, and we are not professionals, but we are here to help. And today at the Back Porch Lounge, we have a special cigar for you. It's actually held over from last year's PCA. It's one of those that, just got thrown in the bottom of the box. We kind of forgot about it, so we're like, hey, surprise cigar!
Just out of curiosity, if they sponsor us at any given time, can we say they were at the top of the box and we just respected them enough not to smoke them until the appropriate time?
Yeah. So I'm going to go back and edit that, and that's what we're going to say.
Yeah. That sounds good. I like it.
But today, we are going to be, most of us are going to be smoking because Robert did not attend last year's PCA. He does not have an Adrian Magnus, but we're going to do the Adrian Magnus. We all have different ones for you. I have the Robusto 5-year. But since it's aged another year, it is the 6-year now. But back when I got it, it was a 5-year. So they come in these fancy boxes.
They do come in fancy boxes. You got the whole unboxing experience.
Yeah. I want to do the whole unboxing. That's what it looks like. It looks pretty pristine.
Yeah, mine looks
what do you got, Andy?
in good shape. Pretty.
I've got the Robusto 7-year.
7-year.
Again, another whippersnapper cigar. It feels like I'm about to drop the bomb when it's my turn.
No, I got it covered.
Probably. How about you, Grim?
I've got a cigar that was made in 1808.
Dang. God damn.
Yeah.
That's when I started smoking.
Yeah.
Old man.
Such a better year.
That is what that means, though, right? Where it says the 1808, like that's the year it was made.
I mean, I feel
I don't
like
so.
You can't dispute that even.
It could be just 1808.
It's a white fighter, right?
Right? I mean, again,
Yeah, and it's impressive that they've been in business that long.
I will be having the limited release Goss, Frightened of This Thing That I've Become.
That's a great cigar.
Robert, I really had expected a better option for you considering the quality of the cigar that we're prepared to smoke and all the hype around this particular Adrian Magnus. I would have expected you to at least get a Swisher.
Dang. He just came to show us up, I think.
I think he did.
I really like that Goss cigar.
Hey,
I mean, I'm
Robert,
a fan of the man. I'm a fan of his blends.
Robert.
Good stuff.
Robert.
How about you, Zach?
I have the Imperials, Adrian Magnus Imperials, years aged, 10 years aged, if you're reading the label. But mine is also 11 years old because it's from PCA last year.
Robert.
I think Grim had to say something to Robert.
I want to be clear here. Goss is my best friend, and you can't take him away from me. So just showing off his fucking cigar during this podcast is not cool, man. My best friend.
He loves you. That's totally fine.
Goss has enough love for all of you.
As long as you know.
To enjoy it. And I have a yellow jacket that's hanging out with me.
We won't make fun of you if you run away and scream like a little girl. Yellow jackets are terrifying and very pissed off sometimes.
Well, hopefully this one's in a good mood.
As we light up, Robert, do you have a question?
I do. It's about the interesting term I learned at PCA this year. What is blowing out your palate, and how do you normally fix that?
I feel like I need to say something.
Okay.
You see, when a man and a woman love each other very much.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
Sorry, it's something else.
No.
I feel like you're trying to trap me in a song into thinking. It's just not happening.
Yeah, not working. Not working. It was good, though.
I'm sorry.
It tracked in my brain a little bit.
It did, but I'm not singing it in my head either. So, blowing out your palate. Usually when you blow out your palate, there's something, it's usually dealing with a cigar that is probably either overly strong or not to your normal taste buds. That when you smoke that cigar, that is all you taste from that moment on. Like, you just cannot shake that taste. Everything else that you drink, eat, whatever, tastes the exact same as that cigar. I mean, it does happen with a few other things in life, but when you're talking about cigars, it's usually just a cigar that is overly powered for your palate, and that's all you have in your mouth, and that's what you taste. And when you can't taste anything else, your palate's blown. You can't taste anything in another cigar, your food, your drink, whatever. So that's what I mean when I say blow out my palate.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not opening a can of compressed air. No, I think it gives you, you hit it the nail on the head. It's a good definition. As for how do you fix it? Time.
Being nice to your tongue.
Be nice to your tongue. 25 gallons of Altoid,
No, that's not nice to your tongue.
concentrated. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it usually just takes time. Give it a day. See how things taste tomorrow.
Yeah. Skip the next cigar you were planning, maybe. I've
Or the next
experienced something like that where I can no longer taste the cigar from a burnt tongue or from smoking too many cigars and smoking them too long, where the smoke gets really hot and potentially it's like the equivalent of like tongue bite for a pipe, I think. Although I always wondered about what people were experiencing when they were talking about that in the pipe world. But yeah, too hot, kind of toasted it, or too crazy on the flavors.
Okay.
I hope
Very
that answers
cool.
your question.
Does indeed.
All right. So, what are first thoughts on light up on this Adrian Magnus? And by the way, Adrian Magnus is fairly new to the States. They were pretty big overseas in Europe and things like that. But I think their breakout year was last year in the States. So they're a fairly new brand for the States, but they've been around for a while.
I'm sure they were at PCA, but I didn't see them there this year.
I didn't see them either,
But it's a big
I
show.
did not see her
and
either.
Fair.
so it's a good light up. It's very smooth on this one. I don't have the stats on this particular cigar, unfortunately. It just says
We have the
Robusto
internet
cigars.
at our fingers.
I mean, I could look it up, but I don't want to be fair.
Do you want to do the grab bag version where you make up the ingredients and tell the story about it? Or?
Tell the story about it? Yeah, no, right? No, I don't. It's not that. I usually don't like to look it up because I don't want to get any kind of flavor, somebody else's idea of a flavor note.
I get that.
So, I mean, I guess I could look up and see what kind of wrapper it is because it definitely does look very Connecticut-ish. But, I mean, it could be a natural, it could be, but it really looks like a Connecticut. But it's very smooth start. Decent flavor so far, as in it actually has a little bit of flavor to it. Don't have any tasting notes for it. But so far, not bad. I'm kind of enjoying it. How about you, Andy?
So, pulling up their website.
Dude,
www.
HTTP.
Ultra luxury cigar.
/
and then when you
Adrian
type it out, instead of hitting enter, hit Alt F4. It
Yeah.
will make it go faster.
Totally faster. But I'm with you, Gibbs. It's got a really smooth kind of post light up flavor and feel to it. Not feeling a ton on the flavor, but I mean, and then again, I've barely lit the damn thing. So
Yeah.
but so far it feels fairly smooth.
All right, Graham, what's your take on it?
I think it's cocky.
It's cocky. All right.
Well, it took me a second, but I think I figured it out. Why would they call the cigar in 1808? I'll give you the answer. That's the year that Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, the greatest of his symphonies, came out. And they are considering this to be their symphony. They're cocky.
That is.
And you looked it up,
So-
didn't you?
Huh?
You looked it up, didn't you?
Not the Beethoven one. I wanted to see if there was anything else because I was big on music when I was a kid. But there are other things where like, Napoleon invaded Spain and I was like, I don't know. I could crack the joke that Adrian Magnus hates the Spanish people, but then I might get a cease and desist order, So, and then the other one was the U.S. said it abolished slave importation. And I was like, I don't think they went that way either. So I'm going to go with Symphony.
That's a wise choice.
Yeah, I thought I'd made the right one. So it's weird, mostly because it has a honey taste to it. I can't tell if it's a sweet tip or if it's in the tobacco. So I'm waiting to see, if it continues through. I mean, I don't mind it, but I kind of wish I would have known beforehand just so I could be prepared for it. And I'm drinking a beer that does not go well with honey. So, my pairing is not that great.
I have chosen poorly.
Fair enough.
I have chosen awfully.
How about you, Robert?
It lit up great. It's burning even. I love the smell that it's coming off the foot. Yeah, so far so good. Look forward to this tremendously. And I have found a website that still has a box or two.
Nice. We were talking about that earlier. When he was trying to look it up, I said, well, it's probably sold out. It's been out for a little while. But I guess not everybody knows how great that cigar is.
Right? Because it's fucking
But they
delicious.
should.
They should know.
They watched
It's
our
our job
show,
to
they
tell
know.
If they watched
Right.
if they watched the Leaf Cutters podcast, they would know. That
Right.
That's a good cigar.
Goddamn delicious.
Wait, so 7 people now?
I mean, maybe my mom watched, so 8.
Nice.
So how about you, Zach?
The 10-year is kind of on the light side. I would call it like medium or light medium. Like it's if you have a scale, it's close to light, but it's got some like nicotine tingle to it and some strength. But it's pretty flavorful. It's like it's got kind of a sweet caramel thing, but it doesn't taste like a sweet tip to me. Tastes like that's coming out of the tobacco. I'm not sure if it has any additives in it at this point, but it doesn't taste like that to me. It doesn't taste chemical sweet. It tastes like a natural sweetness of tobacco choices. It's kind of light, like it's the pack. Like it's a very lightweight cigar. It doesn't feel like it's densely packed, and the draw is pretty good on it. A little like the sweetness is on the kind of the caramely side to me, and a little bit of cedar is what I'm getting from it now. But we'll see. So far, so good.
Interesting. All right.
I don't know if it tastes ultra premium or super ultra mega premium. What do they say? Ultra premium
Ultra.
tobacco, but it doesn't taste cheap. It tastes like a really well crafted cigar to me.
Right. So comparative to like just from the look and feel of the wrapper and the taste of it, of the smoothness, I would definitely compare this to like a Davidoff
Really?
immediately.
As smooth as it is, yeah, I think I can probably agree with that. To
Yeah.
a bit.
And it's not powerhouse punch
No.
to the face.
No.
So it's a smooth, good draw, good taste. I immediately compared it to Davidoff.
Interesting. I've only had like one Davidoff, so I don't have a lot to compare it to. But I could kind of see that because it was on the lighter side, a little more focused on like nuance and appearance and draw than maybe on being like a flavor explosion.
Yeah, so Zach said, this wasn't cheaply made or whatever, like it was premium ingredients. And Gibbs said, yeah, unlike, and I was about to be like, he's about to name somebody he doesn't fucking like. We're about to throw somebody under the bus. I was getting super excited, and then like nothing else happened.
I will say, I looked up the price on this. I found one site that had it for like $16.50-ish for the Robusto size, which is less money than I remembered it being. I don't know if that's because it's not as been around for a little while or something. But I will say this is a PCA sample, so don't judge the entire brand by this, but the label is a little bit off center.
And for the cost, that's annoying as hell.
I, as someone who received this cigar for free at PCA, I have no complaints about that. But
Yeah, same.
just
I'm gonna print
Just
this
kinda fine.
label. I've been drinking too much.
I would say this is smoother than the last Gurkha that I ever smoked.
dang, comparing yours, like I'm enjoying mine. Is yours not enjoyable?
As he exhales slowly.
It's like butter.
Well, is it a little too light for you?
It's too smooth.
We all got guts. So
Yeah, I
we
feel like there's
butter.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Man, I like bacon grease too, because that's what I had. That I went to work at a friend's house today. She's moved into a place by herself with her daughter and needed help, hanging stuff up and setting some things up. She offered to make Chris and I breakfast this morning, and so we went over and had bacon and eggs cooked in bacon grease, which was fucking delicious.
One day I can say, you know what this cigar reminds me of? Bacon grease. And then I didn't buy the.
That'll be the one that gives me a heart attack.
I'm okay with that. I'll die
This
happy.
reminds me of bacon grease.
The entire I'm coming, Elizabeth, but instead of being like,
So that being said, I'm comparing this to a Davidoff, and you're getting it at a lesser price point.
Uh-huh. Yeah, does that make it like the I don't want to say poor man's Davidoff, but the budget friendly Davidoff? I don't have the good experience to tell you. Davidoff has like 500 different cigars. Their display at PCA
It's huge.
Like it was a huge display. Obviously, they're a giant company and they own lots of other companies.
Yeah.
But like the Davidoff line that they had in the display case, like in this beautiful humidor that they had there, it was, I don't know, there's like 200 different cigars there. You know, not in Vitolas and blends and stuff. But I'm like, I had no idea they had that many cigars.
How many were good though?
I don't know. I've only had one.
Yeah, I've only had one too, but they priced me out. Like I don't want to spend that much on a cigar.
Yeah, I about shit myself the other day at the. I went to the cigar shop and $67 for a single stick, and I was like,
You can buy a
that's what
full
I'm saying.
price
Let's
video game
dive
for
into that.
"Oh, you want to dive into that?" Okay.
Let's dive into that a little bit, because like we've been told in the past, you know, there's no magic leaf or anything like that. Everybody's rolling the same shit with the same shit. It's all the matter of how you process your tobacco and how you blend it and how you ferment it and how you take care of it and where it's grown in the soil and stuff like that separates it, you know, really. If you take a cigar like this, which Adrian Magnus is a, you know, high dollar cigar normally.
By their own right.
Kinda,
Ultra premium. It says it right there.
right. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Ultra.
But if we're sitting here, like I said, if I'm sitting here comparing this to a Davidoff, which is same size Davidoff, would probably be about $27. I mean, is that price point of ridiculousness of paying $20-something for a cigar worth it?
Think, and this goes to a lot of different products. This doesn't just go to cigars.
Right.
Brand name has a price tag attached to it.
Again, yeah, you're right. You're
And
paying for a brand.
If you're a Davidoff guy, or you're a Cohiba guy, or, you know, Fuente Opus X guy, you're willing, in most cases, you're going to be willing to drop that money on those products.
But also, you got to think
I'm
about
not.
if you're at that price point, are you a daily smoker or no?
Right.
Because if you put that into the mix of being a daily smoker, you would have to be ultra rich to be doing something like that, versus you're only going to smoke those at special times, special events, things like that.
No, I own the cigar shop and I smoke what I want when I want.
All I'm saying is any cigar that I've seen that's
Fair.
been over like basically the $30 marker, I don't have any preference to it at it whatsoever. Like anybody that's like, man, I want an Opus X or anything like that, they're doing that because everybody said it was the high-end cigar. It's the cigar of cigars. You know, like it's popular. It's status. It's you know, it's shit like that. You know, but in the end run, like none of those cigars are special compared to the fucking, you know, the Diesel that I smoke, or especially the West Ham or the Patina, man. Like those guys are fucking phenomenal. And these cigars are $10. You know, why would I spend $40-$50 on a singular cigar when I can get 5 of those and, you know, enjoy my fucking week?
Well,
Go ahead, Gibbs.
I said the other side of that though is it is a higher quality. I'm not going to say it's not. All right, you can tell it in the taste, you can tell it in the feel, you can tell it in the time they took to actually make a pristine cigar like this one. It doesn't have any lumps in it. If you look at it, there's very little veins in the wrapper. The presentation of it is very well laid out. It cut perfect. No problem.
Hang on. You got me. Lump.
No,
She said alone in the parking lot.
10 points, motherfucker, without even trying.
Then you got
Just dropping Song Ninja like it's your
Then I got-
job.
Yeah, I
the
got
worst
Graham
part
too,
is
so
I
that's
was
20
about
points.
to do it.
Yep.
So was I. I just, you know
20
what?
points, not even trying. But that's what I'm saying. You know, there is
does
a
that
difference
make
in
up-
quality. But
almost
does
makes
that
up
make
for
up a
your
difference in price?
Yeah, in theory, quality has a price point.
Right. But
You know, in my cigar shopping, you know, if I usually buy cigars for myself. I mean, I generally, you know, if I have to buy cigars for somebody else, it's for a special occasion, or it's because Gibbs won't shut up about a specific thing that he wants to try, and he's too Hebrew to spend it and buy it for himself.
ain't no lie.
I know you're not. But if I'm buying cigars for a special occasion, the birth of somebody else's kid, because thankfully all of us that are going to have kids on this podcast have had them. Zach, you've already told me you've opted out. I'll find something that they're going to recognize of quality.
Yeah, you're going to give them a recommendation of something that you
Yeah, am I going to recommend the neighbor who just had a baby? Yes, go get the Blackworks Killer Bee, because that's the first thing that comes to mind. It's not what I really wanted, but the Bishop's Blend or a Diesel Rage, because you're going to want that Rage later after that kid gets to be about 2. Save it for their teenage years. No, I'm going to go pick them up something that they're going to recognize as a high quality cigar because they're going to appreciate it more. I think some of that goes back to the conversation about the whole Fojibas.
That's where I was going to go with it. Yeah, Southern has a line of Fojibas. They put out one. I think it was a purple band and an orange band, and they were around $40 a pop. Now, if you know me, I will smoke a Cohiba, but they are not even close to my favorite. So for $40, I'm not willing to try out that new blend. But that neighbor you're talking about that just had the baby, that West Tampa that I just said, or the patina or anything that we have, the aroma craft, I want them to enjoy the experience because they just had a kid. I want them to enjoy the flavor and such. I'm not worried about does it have veins in the tobacco leaf on. They don't know anything about that shit. They want flavor. They want to enjoy it.
Well,
they don't want to die.
But that's what I'm saying. Is the fact that they have a pristine looking cigar and it has a good taste, but is it worth the extra money when there's other things out there that are just as good at its lower price point?
I don't. Usually I won't spend more than $20 on a cigar at this point because there's so many good options within the $10 to $15 price range.
Right.
It's just it's burning money at that point. You're a movie star. Smoke a Davidoff all you want, bud. You got the burnable cash and everything else like that. I've got bills to pay, kids to take care of. I'll do a $10 cigar that tastes fantastic.
Well, I think that speaks to maybe that cigar is not for that audience, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There are people, and I've met a few of them where they have a fancy car and they buy expensive whiskey and they buy expensive cigars because they can afford to buy those things and it's not as impactful through their finances.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ferrari is made for somebody. It's not me.
I wish it was
Probably not me.
At least not currently. It's not currently for me. Let's see. Somebody out there want to sponsor Zach to get a Ferrari? I would love to win.
Okay,
A
but
Ferrari
the
dealership.
difference in that though, if you're talking about if you're buying a Ferrari, right? You're buying a car that is going to have a certain kind of performance, certain kind of speed, certain kind of everything, and you're going to have to pay
Maintenance
up in the world to get something to get to that point. This is different,
as well as the ski fees.
Yeah, I don't.
maintenance fees, everything.
So
this is different. I mean, it's a good comparative, but this is completely different because, again, you're playing on the same level playing field with the tobacco that you have. You took a little bit more time finding the most pristine leaves in the way they look and things like that and perfected your process. But again, you could find something at a lesser price that is pretty much the same.
So as costs go, thinking about that as costs, they paid up for that tobacco.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
They may have got first choice of, the tobacco leaves at that time. They may grow it themselves, which means, it may have cost them, it probably would cost them less if they grew it themselves. But if they got it from somebody else, if they got first choice or anything like that, I see that just like a restaurant, you pay a little bit extra, you can get in there and get first choice of all the fresh vegetables and everything's first. I get that. So that could be it too. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there to make you kind of think. When you're investing $30 into a cigar, do you really need to be investing that $30 in a cigar? I mean, unless you just want to have the name, which some people do.
So I haven't looked at the entire line. This Robusto was $16 and some change on the site that I looked at. It was the first one I picked. because it's one that I was familiar with, and I don't think their prices are terrible, so it's probably average-ish. But that doesn't put this in that like, you know, Padron, Opus X, Davidoff range to me. That puts it actually like closer to like Dunbarton territory, or what's another good one?
But you're going off price point.
Yeah. I'm talking about price point. Like it's not that expensive. This is not a crazy expensive cigar.
No.
It does look and feel slightly luxury, and I don't know if that's presentation. I don't know if that's because the leaf on the outside looks fantastic. It's very smooth and buttery.
That's why I'm comparing it to Davidoff, not because of the price point.
Yeah, but see, I wouldn't compare it to Davidoff because my experience with Davidoff is not that great. You know, like I 40 some odd.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was just mediocre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And that's fine.
So, if I may, being the one that hasn't had as many cigars as you guys have, obviously, curiosity would drive me to the higher dollar cigars, the more premium cigars, one time. And if I liked it, then during celebratory times, I think I would go back to one. You know what I'm saying? Birth of a child. Yeah, okay. I would go back to one of those for that. Big birthday.
Yeah, special occasion stuff.
Special occasions. Yeah, okay. I'll have one then. But I think the thing that would drive me to it first would be curiosity. Never had a Padron. I'm curious. I've now had these, and curiosity is going to drive me to get one.
I forget you're not smoking the same thing we're smoking, because part of me wants to go, all right, Robert, you've had a rare pink, right?
Yes, and I would have another one in October and not have a problem with it.
Would you buy one just because? I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. Would you buy 2 or 3 just because at their price point? I mean, I know, Gibbs, I know your answer.
I will buy one just because it's kind of a tradition with me and Robert.
Right.
It's a great smoke. It's not worth the money, but because it's kind of a tradition now, I don't mind paying it once a year to have a special cigar. But $32 for that cigar is not worth it to me. It's just not.
No, and I'm right there with you on that one, because the fact I've had it, I know what it is. It's a good stick. Is it $32 good once a month? No. In October, when it's available, yes, I'll have one, and I'm done for the year. I'm not even thinking about it.
Is that because of it's just an okay smoke at $32, or
it's a good smoke, but it's not worth $32?
Right. There are very few things in life that.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it's a good smoke. It's like, it's a higher, and it's definitely a 5, but it's not worth $32 to me. So I mean, I guess I should knock it down because of the price point, but I don't. It's still a great stick, and I'm not going to put it down because it has a good flavor, but I wish it were less because $32 is too much.
I don't see why we would stick with the. I'm going to, for lack of a better term, call it the illusion that a cigar that is priced at $40 or $50 is premium because of the price range. As I said earlier in the example, my neighbor has a baby. I want him to enjoy the cigar. I don't want, especially if they're not a cigar smoker, they don't know that the cigar that you're giving them is $5, $10, $20, $100. They just know that you gave them a cigar as a gift.
They do know if it's a boy, it tastes like shit.
Oh my God. So bad story. I got those ones from a hospital. They actually had them in the hospital gift shop. And my buddy had a baby, and I was like, dude, we got to smoke these, blah, blah, blah. It's totally tradition. He's like, all right, fine. They had us go off the goddamn property of the hospital because it was just when they started banning smoking from shit. He got like 5 or 10 puffs in, and he was just like, don't call me anymore. And I was like,
he's like,
I understand.
We're done.
We're done. Like, this
I'm
is how you
changing the
celebrate.
documents. You're no longer the godfather.
Yeah. Yeah. They were originally naming the baby after me, and then I got there and they were like, no. So the kid's Nathaniel now. But anyway, so all I'm saying is it should be the experience, like I will track down cigars like we did yesterday with West Tampa's, man. I was so excited to find a Devil Crab and a Circle of Life because we reviewed them super high. They were $12 a pop. You know, if
Where'd
I'd have
y'all
gotten a Davidoff, I
They
would
went
have
to
had a
Smokies.
questionable experience where I could have had 4 West Tampa's.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, and that's why I bring it up, because it's just food for thought. You know, it's like there's a lot of cigars out there that are just ridiculously priced, and there's so many things out there that are similar to it that are way less expensive.
Yeah,
Way less
I-
and usually better.
There's no magic leaf, but
It's
there
sometimes
is
better, yeah.
there is money in making the cigar look and feel the way that it does.
Right, and that's what
For
I'm
sure.
saying.
Not necessarily
There
smoke
is-
the way
you
that
can
it
tell
does.
it-
But, look and feel have a lot to do with the way people will perceive.
So
yeah, like because even Davidoff with their wrappers, you wouldn't even see veins. It is almost like a piece of butcher paper that they put over their cigars. It is so fucking smooth.
Yeah.
You know?
it's brushed busher paper.
Exactly.
been-
It's brushed butcher paper. I get that there's a higher quality to it, and there's a higher, but it's not necessarily an elevated experience for me.
I can
But
see that.
That may be just me.
I see what you're saying, and I agree with you. But like I was saying before, I don't think the product is for us. I think
It's definitely
I
not.
think if you are like, I've done this a few times, like you go buy a bottle of whiskey and you're like, I want to get something kind of special. I go up a price point to do that. I hear about a special barrel, a barrel pick for the store, and I get a little excited about that, and that makes the experience a little more special, a little more memorable. And that isn't always the case for the price of the thing, but sometimes you can kind of like spend a little extra to make it more memorable because you've made your brain value it higher. I think smoking a cigar that is good at $7 is still good, and a cigar at $16.50 whatever is this. Like, I'm enjoying the cigar. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
All right, speaking of cigars.
Yeah.
Some of us are way over the halfway point.
this
But
cigar is
a lot of
smoking
us are-
quite quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's
quickly?
too.
Quite
Dude,
Quite
we're only,
quickly?
we're only 40 minutes into this. We're almost done.
All right.
You're
So-
English.
Your English is not
Your English is
well.
good. Yeah. You speak with words.
We're
You try it
stupid.
sometime. It's
You're
hard.
stupid.
All right. So so far I'm enjoying it. It's a very smooth smoke. It's definitely medium body. The construction on it's really good, and I mean, because there's no burn issues whatsoever. It looks pristine. It does feel like ultra premium tobacco. As far as look and feel and things like that, it does have that going for it. And even like I said on the cut, there's no frayed edges. The tobacco is perfectly even. You can tell that there's a little bit more to it, right, than just a regular cigar. But right now, I'm enjoying it. It's a pretty good cigar. How about you, Andy?
Yeah, it's a medium cigar. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of flavor nuance though.
Yeah.
But yeah, the construction's great. It's smooth. That's all I got to say about that.
And I think that's what they're aiming for with these. Honestly, I think it's like the executive cigar,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
and I'm trying really
You know,
hard not to smoke it fast because
Yeah, it feels like an executive cigar
the first
where
cigar today.
you would have a nice business meeting, break these out, and have a discussion over them. But it's not going to blow your palate out. It's not going to be overpowering.
It's gonna make you look good.
It's going to make you look good. I mean, it's having to work really hard for me to look good, so I'm not going to blame.
But
it
it's
for
doing a
that.
great job. It's doing a great job.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Hey,
All right. Yeah.
how you doing?
We'll talk later.
Yeah, baby.
How about you, Grim? Okay.
Bold.
I mean,
I mean, that really sums it up, doesn't it?
It does. Look, man, I racked my brain with the English words in my brain, and I was all like, what words could I come up with to accurately describe this cigar? And I said,
fair enough. How about you, Robert?
Robert's on dial-up.
Robert is not talking.
I think
he's
Robert
on
might be
mute.
on mute.
I think Robert's on mute.
I was on mute because the guy is cutting grass next door, and I didn't want the sound to come through.
Tell him to
Makes
knock it
sense.
off.
Definitely a tasty cigar. I'm still searching for the Burger King fry flavor, but I'm not finding it.
No, it's a different cigar.
It's a different
That's
cigar.
a different cigar. You're not going
Different
to find
cigar.
that in that one.
That's in the Nightman. The Nightman
Okay.
is Burger King French fries.
So if I want that flavor, I need to order the Nightman.
you
Got
need
it.
to order the
So
Nightman.
in
if you want
your
Burger King
case,
French
you'll be looking for the flavor of like Crystal's fries, you know? Or,
Oh, damn.
you know,
I don't know.
To be fair,
sometimes I
Crystal
do
chili
like
cheese fries.
Crystal's chili cheese fries are like my favorite thing in the fucking world.
I've
If I'm
always thought that
depressed-
cigar tasted like self-reflection and moving forward in life. Different people experience different things at different times.
They do.
No, don't. It's very good. Still burning, right? Flavor's still there. It's great. Good job, Goss.
I agree.
He's
win.
my
I'll tell him
best
that
friend.
his hair's
Stop
gonna
it.
get big.
I say as if Goss is going to watch the show, but
He wasn't watching show.
He doesn't watch the show.
He
he
doesn't
barely
even.
stands still.
He likes us for some reason, or pretends to at least, which I appreciate because
Which
we
we
know-
had before.
You know, I'm not his favorite, but I worship the ground he walks on. I would, you know.
We'll have to let him know that. How about you, Zach?
The cigar is quite enjoyable. It is. I'm going to say it's approached light medium instead of being on the light side of light medium. Like that's an extra thing. I don't know. It's not quite medium to me. Well, how about I say it that way? The flavor has not changed significantly to me, other than the normal kind of like intensification as you go through the cigar a little bit. It's still kind of sweet and caramely, a little bit of cedar. The retrohale is like really smooth and easy. This is a very approachable cigar, and I was thinking about the ultra premium thing, and I was like racking my brain where I heard that before, and then it popped in my head. Gran Habanero has a line they call ultra premium, which makes me wonder if that's a tobacco grade that has to do with like how the tobacco is graded. That's a question for another time, I think, probably.
Or just the fact that Gran Habano is
Great
ultra
question.
premium.
But it's not all of their line. It's just
It's
a section of their line. Yeah. So for Gran Habanero, it was like the number 7 is on the ultra premium line, which is
It's so
great
fucking
cigar.
good too.
good.
It's so fucking good. Dude, I've been trying to find a 7 for weeks now. It's driving me insane.
Yeah. The enemy, it's not called that, but or the adversary or whatever it is. I can't remember what the wording.
Enemigo.
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 Yeah. That one I think is in that line. And there's a couple other. But I wonder if that has to do with, you know, the grade of tobacco and the quality control that you're putting into it. And in which case, sure, ultra premium. But it's really good. I like it.
Which is kind of surprising because when we first looked up these sticks, when we got them, they were way more than what they are now. So I'm wondering if something happened in the market, or
Yeah,
if they got into the market deep enough to where they could lower their prices.
that could be.
Like-
That could be.
Yeah.
Maybe
That
maybe the price of distribution went down for them after they broke into the market, the U.S. market a little bit.
Going to what you said, Zach, on the ultra premium thing, and actually going back to who's got the 1808? Graham, is that you?
Well, I'm sitting there
So-
pointing at my screen at Graham, like you can see it.
He's over there.
That guy over there. He's
I
over
wasn't
there.
gonna
Right
say
there.
anything. I wasn't gonna say anything.
That's all right. I'll call my dumb self out. You know, it's all right.
I did it too. I just went.
So the way that they break down their website and their lines, they have classic, premium, ultra premium, LE infused, and they sell humidors as well. The 1808 is actually an infused cigar.
Really?
Yep, because it's fucking honey all the way through.
And the ultra premiums, of course, mine doesn't fall under ultra premium, but I know the Supremos, like the one I've got, falls under premium. But it's still, it's still smoking like butter. If your premium's this good,
Right.
I can see
Yeah,
where the
it's-
ultra
it's
premium
smooth as hell.
is good for butter.
Well, and I mean,
Yeah,
if,
it's
if
like a
this
Swiss
cigar is aged 10 years and Gibbs is what, 7, 5, and you got a 7, okay. So that's a lot of time in the warehouse. Like that's one of the things that really adds to the cost of things like whiskey and is time for storage, because you have
Oh,
to
for
pay
sure.
to like control that storage for that period of time and have the property to do it, that's a factor for sure.
This was on their property for 222 years.
It's sat next. It's like it's been in that jar of honey for barrel for that long. Yeah.
Can you think of the shit that this cigar has seen if it was actually that long? We got to the moon. Civil War happened. World War I, World War II, and shit like
Electricity, TV,
that. Yeah.
rails.
Flight.
It's seen a lot of shit.
Marilyn Monroe, and even darker, Sharon Tate.
Wow, that was dark.
Sorry.
And on that dark note,
Have a great
I got
night.
another
We're
thing we're gonna
done.
bring out. No. So there's been a little controversy with the Leaf Cutters podcast. We didn't realize it was a thing, really, until we got to PCA this year. And then several people approached us about it. And it was a clip that we posted from Aaron Paoletta over at La Vega Cigars. La Vega. Great, great guy. Little intense
cigar.
sometimes, but we like that.
Yeah.
Passion. He's passionate.
Yeah,
Passionate.
there you go,
He's
passion.
passionate,
He has passion. And
Insane amount
it's
of passion.
great.
Great.
and his cigars were good. We enjoyed his cigars, but we put out a video that basically was kind of a legacy versus boutique type mentality to it. And Aaron was talking about, and here's what he was trying to convey from our perspective. That legacy brands are there, they're great, they're legacy for a reason. People love them, people buy them. They're consistently good, and their name recognition alone gets them a shelf on the space, or a space on the shelf, right? Anybody that goes into a shop and they're a, legacy smoker. When we're talking legacy, we're talking about, brands that have been around forever, like Arturo Fuente, Padron, things like that. They've been in the business for a while, and they built it up. And of course, they sell millions and millions and millions of cigars a year. But he was saying that if you took a Padron or Arturo Fuente or Perdomo and you put it on the floor in a humidor, people who smoke that will go in there and find it, no matter what it is. If they're a fan of it, they're going to smoke it. They're going to find it. They're going to smoke it. And he was saying to give, boutiques more of a chance, you kind of need to put them in more of a prime placement, not necessarily bump all the freaking, the legacies off the shelf and put boutique in there, but put them in a better placement where people can see them, see what's new, see what is there, and they could get to it easier than having to try to search. Because also, when you're looking this, when you're searching around for something new and inventive, if it's in the back on the bottom shelf, you're not going to really look at it. You're just going to browse right by it. And plus, you don't even know what it is. So if it's not something eye-catching, you're going to pass right by it. So from what I was getting from that whole debate and a whole argument, which, like I said, I didn't even really know it was a huge thing until that particular clip blew up, that it needs to be a little bit more symbiotic relationship between the shop owners and the boutique people. The shop owners had a great argument of the legacies get the placement they get because they've earned that spot by, having good products and putting it in there on the shelves. But then you also get the backstory of that. Well, sometimes these legacies make you put it front and center, certain spot, certain placement, certain place on the shelf. So it's like, is it really fair to tell them what to do in their shop? I don't know. And I'll preface this with, we're not shop owners. We're not cigar makers. We don't do any of that. We literally just talk about cigars and have, and talk to you, to have fun with you about cigars. We don't have any skin in the game. But shop owners will tell us that, you can't put down legacy and boutiques are being lazy. And I'm like, I don't see how it's a boutique being lazy where you put their cigars on your shelf. They can't tell you where to put it like the big legacy brands can. So I think he's pushing more for a symbiotic relationship between the two. Is like, hey, you brought me in, you like my product. Why wouldn't you want to set it up for the best and kind of put it somewhere people can see it, and maybe you say something about it. It's like if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, what's new?" Why don't you say, "Hey, try this"?
Right. I think.
But there's been all kinds of debate spawned off about that.
Yeah. Well, I
have
think
skin in the game now.
Legacy obviously has some advantages that boutique doesn't,
Mhm.
and that's exposure and education, because they have resources. They have more reps. They have more people that are going into the shops and talking about their stuff, and doing events and that sort of thing. And they can pay for advertising and all the marketing part of the industry. But I also think a lot of and make good products. I mean, I'm a huge Padron fan, but I just don't smoke it that often because it's expensive. Like the one I want is usually $22 to $30.
25.
Yeah.
Stupid anniversary.
And the 1964 anniversary natural. I love that cigar so much. It's so good.
Me too. It's delicious.
Yes. But that's my special occasion cigar. I don't buy those all the time. And I don't know. I don't even know if they're worth it. They're just special to me, which makes them worth it to me, kind of thing. I think that one of the potential struggles with promoting a boutique brand is education. And, because they don't have the coverage and the representation of all those reps, dedicated or brokers like Goss. They don't have that many people to go into each store and have an event on that night. So it's more challenging. That said, most of the time that I go to a store, I'm looking for a boutique brand. Like, I'm not looking for Padron all the time because I know that they have them, and like I'm going to buy them when I buy that Padron. But the store that I go to the most in the area has Black Label Blackworks, and they have West Tampa, and they have Oscar, and they have Asylum, and a bunch of smaller, maybe not small, but smaller companies that I really enjoy their products. So I don't know what the right answer to that is. I don't know. I think symbiotic relationship, like you're saying, makes more sense than just like putting it on the bottom shelf. But education is a challenge. It's hard.
It really is. Education is a challenge because it's not only they're saying that if you make a good cigar, people are coming and buy it. Well, if you don't know about that good cigar, you don't know exists, you're not going to take a chance on it. Usually, unless for some reason it popped out at you. You don't know if it tastes good just because of the way it looks. Let's be fair, you don't. But unless it popped out at you for some reason, that's the only way you'll catch it in a humidor. So a lot of the times it's basically teaching, say, even the shop owners. A lot of times the people that are running the shop, they know nothing about the cigars whatsoever.
For
so
sure.
you have even less of a chance of learning about something when you go in there and be like, "Hey, what do you recommend?" I don't know. People buy the popular stuff. They buy the Padron over there.
I've been in shops where the person who works there doesn't know anything about cigars. They're just there because they also sell cigarettes, and it's a job. They're not tobacconists. They're not interested in the craft involved. They're just people that have a job, which I get. I mean, you can't always find or afford somebody who's a tobacco nerd.
Right.
But there's a difference
So, but
between
if you
like a tobacco store that has, cigarettes and vapes and, everything, that like a smorgasbord of everything because they don't know any of that, and a cigar shop that should know what the hell they're talking about because they are bringing just nothing but cigars in. Like in a particular instance, like with PCA, you're ordering your cigars for the year, right? What's the first thing they do to us? Even us, our podcast, they put a stick in your hand. They're like, "Hey, try us out." You try out that cigar, and there whether or not you want to put that cigar in your shop. If you know you want to put that cigar in your shop, you should be able to get it there and then say when somebody comes in, "Hey, man, I tried that stick, and it's fucking phenomenal." That's called salesmanship. If you can't do that, I don't like your store.
Yeah. And that's the perspective we're coming from, and we can have that perspective because we're the consumer. You know,
And that's our
we
skin in the game, is we're the consumer.
Yeah, we're the consumer. We're
We
the ones that
vote
go
with
in
our
and-
wallet.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And you know, there's shops that I go in, and you know, I might pick up one stick. It's because they had something I could smoke there, but it's not necessarily what I want. But if I go into a shop that I see several things that I like that I can't get, I usually grab multiple sticks.
So when we went into Smokies in Knoxville yesterday, my intention was to buy one cigar.
I know better than that.
But I failed, and I bought like
Failed,
6
horribly.
cigars.
How many did I
Like, oh,
buy?
I got this.
13.
13, I think. Yeah.
13.
13. I gave 2 to Zach for, hosting. I also gave 2 to Ben for bringing me up and everything else like that. I gave 2 to the second comic shop writer that we went to afterwards because I had like 30 comics for him to sign. And I was like, dude, I'm wearing out your hand. Can I possibly like give you a little and, give you a cigar or two? And he was like, you know what? I'm not going to fucking turn you down. Yeah, exactly. Like it was an appreciation thing. But in the end run, I got a bunch of sticks like West Tampa and the such that we don't have in this area because they're not as widely carried.
And the sad thing is we have mentioned these brands in our area and we still can't get them.
Can't get them.
We've talked to our tobacconists saying, hey, can you try this? Can you try to get this for us? No.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that comes down to either that those boutique brands hit for people or they don't.
Right.
I think that comes down to a couple of things.
Okay.
And as much as we love Roma, I'm going to use them as an example.
I was about to.
So, yeah, we love Roma, and
We do love Roma.
we've introduced them. They've like even here they've been introduced, and carried at the local shop for a while. But the local shop has decided that they've been burned by boutique and have decided that boutique's not really going to be on their shelves, moving forward. So they're going to go back to more mainline cigars. Okay, and some of that's because
Why
of
were
the
they
way.
burned?
I don't know. I didn't get into that discussion, and that's
Okay.
that's knowledge that I don't have, and don't know that I care to know.
No, it'd be interesting because if they were burned because
would
like
be.
the rep wasn't providing them with stuff on a regular basis, or they weren't
Potentially.
able to get a hold of somebody to have their stock reshelved or something like that, that's a burn. If they're burned because they had
They got burned because they want stuff, but aren't carrying the stuff that will get them the things that they want. Yeah, I want to carry the Craft McKeck. Okay, but you're not carrying any of the other core lines, or not, selling the core lines. And why would we provide you with, a specialty cigar when you're not hosting the core line?
Yeah,
Okay,
that
but
was
that-
that was
in fact, you're green dotting shit to get rid of it.
right.
But
That
that's
was an
the entire
eye
point.
opener at the last PCA for me. Was the amount of
Big time.
like tiers for buying cigar that there were. You can buy a couple boxes of cigars from almost anybody, but you'll only have access to a certain set of those cigars. And as you buy more, you can have access to the more limited edition things, and potentially have a rep come and do events. Is also what it sounds like for some of those companies.
But the way that Roma does their billing, and I think this is where, in some cases other shops get more picky about what they carry. They don't do net 20, they don't do net 30, whatever. You're paying up front for your cigars, and you're gonna get what you ordered when you pay for it. But as for placement in a shop, so I don't go into the big Mansfield store very often. But Zach, you've been in there.
Yeah.
I like
that
there
shop,
used to
by the
be.
way.
I like that shop. It's a great shop. It's actually got a really nice lounge. They have a nice bar.
It's super good to hang out at.
It's super comfy to hang out with. People there. But when you go to that shop and you walk in the humidor, if you walk in from the storefront, it's a 2-section humidor. It looks like originally it was like 2 sets of offices, and they just kind of threw a doorway in the middle so that you could walk through it. It used to be wrapped around with cigars on shelves. Well, they started carrying Davidoff. And so Davidoff said, here's our display case. You're going to put this somewhere. And damned if it's not, as you walk in that front door, it's the first thing you see. Like, they removed a whole shelving unit worth of cigars just to host Davidoff.
Because you have to. Davidoff does not get displayed in anything other than their stuff.
Right. And back to what I said earlier, I'm not paying $67 a stick for a fucking cigar.
Now,
and I talked to go ahead.
I say to Davidoff's effect, or to their defense, and don't tell me that I'm shitting on Davidoff, because I'm not. I like Davidoff cigars. I like the way they taste. I like the way they look. They are a fancy cigar. They're just not my everyday smoke. They're definitely a special event type cigar for me, and I'll pay up a little bit. But in their defense,
smoke one at my funeral.
They have.
I was smoking crack at your funeral.
They finally gotten under the $20 price point with some of their cigars, which I was pleasantly surprised to see. Now, yes, they are very small compared to the other cigars, but they have gotten under that price point. So if you want to get in and try it, you can now, and it's at a decent price point.
Though.
It may be a hook, or maybe it's an opportunity, to get in there and actually try it, to see what all the hype is about, and maybe see if you want to pay that extra, couple of bucks to get the more expensive one.
Yeah.
So they're trying, and they're working with, people like us who smoke more on a regular basis that don't want to spend $26 on one stick, to get in there and try it. That's the way I look at it, but I could be wrong.
But yeah, I get it. They pay for, you want to carry, your shop owner wants to carry X cigars, X, here's the list. Some of those companies are going to tell you, this is what you're going to face. This is what this is going to look like. You're going to put these here. You're going to put these in our, in our display case, and you have to make room for that.
True.
And here's what MSRP is, markup, whatever. We're not going to talk Keystone pricing on this call.
Yep. We'll just get sick.
Yeah.
It's quickly depressing.
Google it.
We're not allowed to say any prices, but damn.
Well, because we're not shop owners, and because we're not, we're industry,
and we're going to respect
we are considered part of the industry. We're going to respect that. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I'm going to miss out on boutique cigars that I enjoy, like Roma,
that hurts.
It hurts. And Patina, because I'd love for those brands to get in the door. I'm not going to get those.
But like even Mo was saying when we were talking to him at the show, biggest thing for him, and the only thing that's really, really doing well for him, is word of mouth via podcasts and things like that, and people getting it in front of them to see it, to get name recognition.
And to his credit, Mo's not the only person that said that to us. We heard that from a number of brands.
But he's a good example, because when we went by Patina's booth, every time it had somebody in it. He was talking to somebody.
Left and right.
Yeah, he was selling left and right. He was doing great. Literally, when we were able to get into his booth, he was like, finally, I can get a goddamn break and have some lunch.
Right.
And we were like, yes, eat, man. Take us as an opportunity to take a break, shoot the shit with us. And he did. And then he sat there and shot the shit with us and had a good time.
We hung out with him for a little bit, and then up walks the customer and says, "Hey, I heard your cigars are good."
Yeah, and we got the fuck out because we were like, sell that shit, buddy.
Because they're leaf cutter approved.
Leaf cutter approved.
They're definitely leaf cutter approved. But that's the only one that's really helping. I'm not saying that it's the only way, but it's a good way of him helping, because getting name recognition out there. Because he doesn't have the budget for, massive ads and stuff for his cigars. And neither of these upper companies, all the boutiques, they don't have money for massive ads and cigars and, getting their, unfortunately, name in Cigar Aficionado and things like that. It's just not in the cards for him. I think he did. I think the Oro de Nicaragua made it.
Yeah, I think he's been rated by
Cigar Aficionado, and
I didn't realize that.
And cool. Cigar Snob and Coop and everything have done things. Half Wheel have done stuff for him, and that's helping him. And yes, he's a good example. It's a good cigar. It's going to get his name out there, but it's a slow growing process. And again, I still can't get it here.
Right. Well, I've not seen it in the wild. I've ordered it online because
I just looked
because
it up.
I
There's-
found out about him because we ended up having him on the podcast and he sent us cigars and I'm like, holy crap, these are awesome.
And we only
Yes.
heard about him because Karina Owens,
bless her.
let us know about him. And thank you, Karina, for introducing us to Mo.
Don't forget to tag her. She'll appreciate that.
I know I'm going to tag her so she knows it. I give her full credit for introducing us to Mo, and it's been a fantastic, relationship ever since. But these little guys, I think if you like a product enough to bring it into your shop, my whole argument is, why wouldn't you want to promote that a little bit? I understand you're saying the argument is the boutiques don't want to wait in line like everybody else. I'm not saying throw a whole shelf of their stuff out on there, but at least display it in a place where people can see it and maybe talk about it. Say something if somebody asks.
To play devil's advocate
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
for a moment,
Oh,
a new brand is a risk to an established shop, right?
It is. Absolutely.
Because then they have to take their customer base and introduce them to a new product. They have to do the legwork of saying, "Oh, hey, we got this new thing. It's really cool. You should try it out." And then they have to tell a story about the brand. They have to go through that process. And not every place is willing to do that. It's not everybody is comfortable selling a product. Some people are there to run the cash register, and that's okay. That's part of
for sure.
of a business. So
I
I'm not expecting everybody to be like a brilliant storyteller with great people skills in it. And anytime you walk in, you're just like ready to buy the newest cigar.
Right.
Like, that doesn't
Well,
sound reasonable.
So, in talking with, let me go back to that. In my experience with tobacco house, be it Shreveport, either the Shreveport shops or or the East Texas Butcher shop, especially the East Texas Butcher shop. I've gotten to know those folks. There's a girl that works, the register at East Texas, who I don't know knows anything about cigars, but she's almost always paired in that shop with one of the other girls that knows. And, we'll occasionally go, "Hey, look, I see you're buying that. Why don't you get this instead? Because I think you're going to like it." And it may not be a new boutique. And it's usually, at this point, it's probably not. But like the flathead, the CAO flathead that I bought, the Habanero, the new Habanero that came out, the Speedster, or Speed Shop, that came out last year, not this year, but last year. She suggested, "Hey, try that. I see you've got a couple of Habaneros. Give it a shot." And I did. And she wasn't wrong. I didn't dislike it. The other Habanero I bought was better.
I gotta ask something.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to use Tim as an example from Thick Ash Cigar. Now, we've introduced Tim to cigars beforehand, and he hasn't liked some of the things we do. I mean, he's liked some of the things we do, back and forth, and he's tried to sell and everything else. But in the end run, when we go in there, the first thing Tim goes is, "Hey, man, have you tried this?" Or "This is new on the shelf," or and such. He is a successful business owner that has the cigars that he wants on his shelf, and he doesn't have a giant display from Davidoff. So, what makes that giant Davidoff display that they're demanding that you have in your store worth having there if you're not like 100% behind the product, or you're losing, inventory that you could be selling or space for it? Like, why bother doing that when you can sell still? Like, Tim's successful. He's got people in there all the time. It's a great shop, man.
Tim's different.
I'm going to ask this because it's been a hot minute since I've been in Tim's shop. Does he still have a sizable Placencia display?
He's got like a shelf or two. Like, I want to say he has like 3 or 4 blends, but that's about it.
Yeah, but you gotta know the back end of Tim's business. Back end of Tim's business, he works with brokers. When you work with brokers, you can get 1 or 2 or 3 boxes of a certain brand in your shop. If you want to be a Davidoff store or a Perdomo store or a Arturo Fuentes store, you have to carry so much volume.
Yeah.
To get
you want
that
to become
sticker
a
on
named
your
lounge.
window, or you have to have.
Why would you though?
There's discounts.
There's discounts. I was gonna say there's discounts involved with that.
First of
At
all.
certain levels, you get more discounts on the cigars, so they end up being cheaper, and you end up with more volume of that brand. So
Yeah.
But
That's
the
part of the
markup
incentive.
value on like a boutique cigar, and I'm just using boutique at this point. You could say almost any of the ones that don't require a display or anything else like that. A markup on a boutique cigar is on average, according to AI, about 300%. You know, like it's a huge markup. You make more off of a boutique cigar than you do most of these other ones. So why
Maybe.
would you give that giant amount of space to somebody that you're not making as much off of per cigar, and you're not as enthusiastic about promoting?
Name recognition.
yeah, I mean,
I think it.
Tim
I
does
really
it
think a
without
lot
it.
of that comes back down to name recognition.
That's sad.
Right.
I mean,
but
the marketing that those companies can afford is like the equivalent of Nike or Adidas. You know, that's like not obviously proportional, but
Yeah.
you know, you know about those companies because you know about the companies because it's in your face. You
Yeah,
know?
but when you walk in that door to that store, that tobacconist like Tim should be there saying, "Dude, have you tried this?"
right. And that's what we expect when we're going to a cigar shop. But you got to think, and I know we're harping on Tim. We're not harping, but we're talking about Tim.
I love
Tim
Tim.
does not. I love Tim too. Tim does not get the specialties that comes along with being, carrying entire lines and so many cigars and things like that. He doesn't get those specialty cigars from those brands either.
But okay, but do you think, like, let's just I'll throw out West Tampa or Roma or whatever. If he got a couple boxes of them and they sold out really quick, he would order more boxes. If they continued selling on a regular basis, he would order more and more to the point where he would get into the specialty cigars. Us as consumers,
No, he
earlier, because with our wallet.
No, just because of the way Tim buys his, it doesn't make him eligible for that.
All right, well, let's say Southern.
Southern's
They're too old
different.
to want new shit. Sorry.
Dude, the guys in Southern's are awesome.
Southern carries a higher volume of cigars. When they carry like a brand, they carry a lot of stuff in their lines from different
And
lines.
they have an entire bay for just GTO, which is a local brand.
Yeah, they do. And I'm pretty sure they get a pretty good discount for it.
Which is a huge markup then, isn't it?
Well, they're still, for the most part, cigar places do go off Keystone pricing, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean,
They do. They go off Keystone pricing. I'm not saying that they strictly set to that because I don't know, but they do go off Keystone pricing. And people like Tim who have the boutique, they can go off Keystone or they don't have to go off Keystone. They can really price it however they want to price it.
but-
So,
okay,
yeah.
but
When you're looking at the overall, what percentage of markup off boutiques and everything like that, it's kind of the same in shops that are using Keystone. It's a little bit skewed whenever you have shops that are getting them, especially with boutique, because you're ordering it either directly from them or you happen to luck out and get a broker that's selling their stuff, and then you can make your own pricing.
okay, but in the instance of since we're shifting to Southern, they have that entire end cap at Grand Havana, right? One in the middle hallway there. Let's say they decided to get into Davidoff, because I'm almost 100% that they don't have Davidoff. Davidoff requires this shelf. They decided to get rid of the Grand Habano thing, even though you and I go in there on a regular basis and buy Grand Habano. We no longer have Grand Habano in the area because of Davidoff's requirement.
Well, that's if they've decided to buy into that level of Davidoff. From what I understand, I don't know how their structure is, so I'm speculating. But
I mean, I'm just tossing it out there, man. Like, I don't have skin in that game. I have skin as far as it goes for, like, I want my cigars in the shops and everything else like that. But like how they market and how they deploy their cigars in their shop is their own business. I just
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. How they, and that's kind of the argument. It's like, why is it that you're so passionate about, they do all the legwork. They do a better job than boutiques. Boutiques don't put in the legwork. You're comparing apples and oranges. A boutique does not have the money behind them, the restrictions behind them, all the downfalls. That a legacy makes it easier for you to sell that cigar.
Yeah, I mean, I agree to that, but what I'm saying is, like, with the PCA thing, and then when they order cigars and everything else like that from PCA, you're trying that stick. And if you try that stick and you like that stick, you put that stick in your stores. And you should be able to, as a salesman, because it's your store and you have to sell to make your business successful, say, hey, that stick's great.
Right, you do. And that's the argument. You should be able to put it wherever the hell you want to put it to make sure that it gets in front of somebody.
Or put it where it's
What's wrong with making that argument? Maybe you just don't want to. Maybe you just don't want to, put the effort in and say, hey, this is a decent one, change the box out. I don't know. All I know is I see way more legacy than I see boutique in a lot of the stores around me.
No, me too.
Same.
Okay, guys, look, I gotta go. I'm just gonna say this: legacy wasn't always legacy. They had to work to where they get where they are.
That's very true.
Time and people talking about stuff. That's gonna sell your stuff. Okay, that's all there is.
That's
to
fair.
that.
That's
Right.
fair.
It's not, and I'm not taking a side. I don't have a side. I'll smoke anything. I will buy a $30 cigar. I don't care. Okay, it's what it is. I'll enjoy it as much as I enjoy a $10 cigar. That being said, the Goss, right into this thing I've become, excellent cigar, 5, all the way around,
Bam.
start to finish, no doubt. Grim, I'm coming after Goss to be my best friend.
Hey, man, real quick, since we got you, how's your health insurance, motherfucker?
But on that note, I gotta go. I have a meeting to get to. So see y'all later.
Later, buddy.
Peace, brother. See you, Robert.
I like the argument as far as it goes for legacy. It wasn't legacy before or before whatever, but legacy now smothers out the new and upcomers if with the tactics that they're using, like requiring X amount of shelf space, having it in center place, and everything else like that. Boutiques are going to get smothered out if that is a huge trend.
So, yeah, I can see that.
Follow my thought together, but we watched the same. The 4 of us, PCA, actually the 5 of us before Robert left. We all watched the same video, right? About Padron, and the family.
Yeah,
and that man started out rolling cigars in a friggin' tiny shop in Miami, in Tampa, and I mean, look where he's at now. Or look where Perdomo and Padron are. So yeah, you're right. I mean, Robert's got a point. Names are hard.
he does. And they have made their way into the business because they're good at what they do. They are fantastic. Padron, I've shit on Davidoff so far. I realize that, but they're there for a fucking reason, man. They did the work. They did everything, man. That's good for them. But I don't want that to be at the cost of the people that could be legacy in 50 years because I can't smoke them now.
Good point.
All right. And another argument that was on that one video clip was, people like us who are looking for boutique. We're looking for something different. We still smoke legacies. I'm not arguing that fact. We still do.
Oh, I totally do too.
We know if we want a certain taste or something, we know we can go pick up that Perdomo off the shelf. And I know what that sucker's going to taste like. And that's what the taste I want right then and there.
And I'm going to have flashbacks to when we were in our 20s, sitting in the fucking parking lot of PPT and smoking those Perdomos and Fuentes and everything else like that, and talking big shit. Like, those are good.
Andy does not agree with you.
I could not afford that shit at that point. Thank you very
I was
much.
about to say, Andy, you were smoking iguanas and you were smoking Thompsons.
And occasionally,
I thought you were going to say
we'd
it
have
was
some
good times, and I agree with that too, though. So
No, the good time was had. There's no argument there.
Good time was had.
Sure
but,
as shit
it
wasn't
definitely
smoking
wasn't those
Fuentes and Perdomos, though.
No,
I
those are still specialty cigars.
got that one set of Thompsons from you, and then somebody was like,
It was,
and then
It was Gibbs.
it was Gibbs. I wasn't going to throw him under the bus.
Was
I
not
will.
me, motherfucker. I did not force fucking Thompson on you.
We did once. You gotta admit it. We did it once.
We did it once. But yeah, we're looking for that different thing. So I feel, and what I see is the market shift. I kind of agree with Aaron in that aspect where the market's kind of shifting more boutique. It's a slow grow. I'm not saying they're taking over right now, but I think it is a slow grow because it's something different and people are looking for that different thing. Just like the craft beer thing that's blown up.
I was
Everybody's
about
looking
to,
for that.
I was
different
about to make
craft
that.
beer.
I was about to make that connection. You've got your craft beer smokers your craft beer drinkers that have, proliferated the beer market per se, and have gotten, the beer and wine shops to start carrying craft beer, or you've got more pop-up, craft beer breweries, and they're doing well. And those guys are starting to smoke cigars and are starting to look for things that aren't legacy, just like us. We look for boutique cigars, but we're also occasionally going to go back and have a Coors Light, or we're not always going to drink peanut butter and jelly IPAs. God, that's a delicious fucking beer.
That's not an IPA. That would be really weird if it was.
That would be, I'm sorry, but
It sounds like more of a stout beer. That's what that sounds like.
it wasn't a stout.
It's it's a sour beer.
It's a
So
sour.
It's
Sour,
its own
okay.
category.
I can see
most
a
of the
sour,
time.
But I mean, we're gonna go. We're gonna look for the craft beers. Yeah, even though we're still gonna go back and occasionally drink a Guinness, because Guinness has been around for 1,000 years, or 100 years, a couple hundred years. I don't know.
Don't fact check that.
Don't fact check any of this. When it comes to years, don't fact check that shit. So it's totally it's gonna grow, and I think you're gonna see with some work, boutique brands that are meant to stick around and that really gain popularity are gonna become legacy, and it's just gonna take time. And we're in that special spot, though, I think, where we heard a number of times throughout PCA is that as podcasters and social media, what we do is important, and getting the name of a lot of these boutiques out is important. While I realize that some of the next shows that we've got lined up are more legacy, but I think it's important to have them on too, and talk about their stuff. Just like I feel like it's just as important to drink classic, Budweiser and Guinness as it is to go and get the new sour mash that whoever's releasing. So it's all good.
Yeah. It just goes back to that. I think it's more of a request of a symbiotic relationship between the shops and the boutiques to kind of help each other. I mean, I know they're saying they're not putting in the legwork, but they're doing the best they can. And, but I'm not a seller. That you may have just a drive-by salesman that, hey, I dropped off a box here. I'm not going to talk to you forever.
Call me when you're ready to order.
Yeah, call me when you're ready to order. I don't think that's a great business model, being a small person or a small boutique. But if you're doing that, maybe that's what has a sour taste in their mouth about boutique. I don't know.
Would you
But
go to a Best Buy and go to the TV section and have some kid walk up to you and say, "Are you looking at these?" And be like, "Yeah, man, I'm really interested. I don't know what to mention." That guy be like, "Me either." Like, that's an awkward situation at that point, because then you're just like, well, why are you talking to me? Like, give me somebody that knows what to talk about. It's the same thing going into a cigar shop. You go in and they're like, I don't know anything about these cigars. Like, oh, what are you doing? What's going on?
yeah, why'd you bring them in if you don't know anything about them?
Yeah, and that's the key. They put
Gilbert
the
told me
product,
to.
like, they had to give money to get that product into their store. That means they had, at some point in time, faith in that product. They had to hopefully at least tried it, or gotten a good enough brochure that said, hey, put this in front of your fucking register that says, hey, smoke our shit, or whatever the case may be. But if you're not going to sell it, then yeah, you're going to have trouble with that boutique. They're going to be like, wow, you only sold 2 boxes of our cigars, we got other people to deal with.
Yeah.
Maybe. And yeah, maybe if you're pushing a boutique a little bit more that you like, maybe you won't have that. Well, it didn't sell, so I don't carry it no more.
Okay, a different example, and I'm going to put a lesson to it. We can go through historically and say, these are the cigars we like. If we had our own store, if we had a Leafcutter's cigar shop, we have on record what's good, what's not, that they can just look at and say, hey man, this is a great cigar. We have a database. We have something that says we recommend it.
You're right, but I also think that if to make a good business decision, we're going to carry some of those legacy brands.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because I still want people. I
Absolutely.
still want regular customers, not just folks that like us that are poor on occasion, that still spend
I
money
would
on
never
cigars.
say that you shouldn't carry like a Perdomo or a Fuente. Pick the ones that you endorse. Pick the ones that you like. you know, because being a salesman is being passionate about it, you know, is
Every
getting
time.
behind the product.
There's also like a cigar sales market that we haven't specifically talked about yet, or two markets that I think exist that we haven't talked about yet. We're talking about the shops that we go to that have lounges and they're just cigar shops. Like that's 99% of their business. They might sell beer in a cooler or something like that. But there's also bars that have started to carry cigars, and they're selling drinks. Cigars are an afterthought. They want the most profit margin out of the cigar. So they don't care about you being the repeat customer. They care about you being there ordering drinks. And
Ordering
then there's
drinks and dropping $20 on a Fuente.
and dropping $20 on a Fuente. And then there's the cigar of opportunity in a liquor store / tobacco store thing, where they're not a cigar shop. They just have a small humidor that's maybe curated by a shop, or it's curated by a broker or
whoever runs
someone,
the shop.
Yeah, or someone who runs the shop, and maybe it's the brand that they like. Maybe it's just that. A lot of times those shops, the liquor stores that have a few cigars, they're selling Gurkha and Rocky Patel and occasionally Fuente kind of thing.
I don't know. I gotta say that the liquor shop right here. The two big selling points for me are the fact that they have canes, they have La Gloria Maduros, and drive-through daiquiris.
You mean I can drink this in the car? No, you
Right.
can't. It's illegal.
Oh.
I'm still going to do it. It's drive-through, man. Come on, that's what's
Dude,
going on.
brother, the piece of tape with the straw, under it, is totally there
Yeah.
to keep you from drinking that all the way home.
It's unbreakable until it reaches your
Unbreakable
house.
until it reaches your house.
Yeah.
But
Just
they're like
releases. Whatever you got.
opportunistic upsells is what they are. That's not their primary business. You're in there for something else, and you go, oh man, cigars. That would be really cool for this evening that we're already planning to, drink whiskey and
Okay.
And get shit faced.
whatever.
So
Might as well smoke
in
cigar.
that scenario, for those, I'm going to use my Best Buy reference as far as it goes for like watching a TV. Would you go into like a Walmart or a Target, somebody that sells 50,000 fucking different things, and expect somebody to tell you specifically about that TV or that, I don't go into a liquor store, and I like the restaurant we went to yesterday. They had cigars. They had 3 different types. She couldn't tell me anything about them. I knew because I'm a cigar enthusiast, but I wouldn't really trust her opinion anyways, because they're about beer and food.
Right, but I've only talked to one person about cigars at the place you're talking about, but I didn't expect them to know anything about the cigars, so I didn't ask for a recommendation. I just asked how much they cost.
Yeah. But that's one.
And was excited that I could smoke one out in the beer garden.
Right.
Like you said, it's an add-on. It's an add-on sale. It's an
Shelf
upsell for people that when you drink, you want to smoke. It's been happening for ever since alcohol and tobacco have been together. Like peanut butter and jelly. So
It's the
and
peanut
alcohol.
butter and jelly.
So just like going into a liquor store, you're getting a bottle of whiskey or whatever. You look over at that cigar and you're like, you know what? I could smoke a fucking cigar with this.
I got
tonight,
it.
And
I gotta admit, I go to liquor store here just because they have nubs and La Gloria Maduros for $7 a piece. It's cheap.
We had one that
That
had
goes back to my
diesel.
our previous episode where you can find good prices in places like that.
Yeah, the diesel that I was talking about, $9, and it was a Gordo, and I was like,
Yeah.
man,
Not bad. But I know we could probably talk about this for another hour, but I have no more cigar.
I'm out of cigar.
I've been out of
I
cigar
was out
for a
40
while.
minutes ago.
Yeah. So let's rate it. So for
It
mine,
doesn't smell good anymore.
the Millennium Age 5-year Adrian Magnus was a good cigar. Had a good taste to it. I like the flavor of it. I mean, it wasn't a bold flavor, punchy in the face flavor. It was a very mellow flavor. Did have like a little bit of sweetness on the back, on the very end, about the last third. A little bit of, I want to say almost honey like taste to it, or caramel, or maybe caramel a little bit, in there. Is enjoyable, held together well, looked really good, looked pristine. I didn't have to touch it up once. It burned consistent the entire time. So my rating on it is probably going to be around a 4.5. Just because I do think there could have been a little bit more there. Flavor wise, like I said, it's a good flavor. but I think it could have been a little bit punched up, just a hair, and I would have been happy. But there, 4.5. How about you, Andy?
I smoked mine down to the nub. I mean, well past the nub. It was smooth. You're right. It was smooth the whole way through.
All the way through.
Maintained kind of a medium, almost probably right at medium. I wouldn't even say medium plus or medium, light medium, but right at medium all the way through. I kind of wish there had been some progression in flavor throughout. That would have been positive. So, that and I don't remember what the price point is. I didn't look it up because, I'll go with Zach's math. Zach's math works. Well, I mean, originally, if I remember right, when we got these cigars, we were talking being like $40 a stick.
I thought they were like $40.
Yeah,
I just looked it up on a site, and this one was not that expensive. It was more expensive than I probably would have expected, but not crazy.
But that being said, it was still an enjoyable experience. You're right. It was smooth as butter. I mean, it was a pristine looking cigar.
It was beautiful. I just oh my God, it was just beautiful. Smelled it. It was delicious.
But I mean, outside of that, it was an enjoyable experience. The cigar was good. We'll give it I'll give the 7-year aged a 4.25.
Okay.
There's not anything else really to compare it to. I mean, I don't know that I compare it to a Davidoff.
Well, I compared mine to the Davidoff just because of the way it looked and the style of it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the closest thing I could see just visually. Now, taste, it was different.
I do want another cigar right now. I got shit to do, sadly.
So the Adrian Magnus Imperials, aged 10 years, was really enjoyable. It's a different cigar than I've had lately. It was, I'm gonna call it medium minus because you use medium plus, and it's like that. It's not quite medium for me, but it was on the sweeter side and creamier side than I was expecting, and I haven't had something like that recently. I've been having peppery and robust and more intense cigars. So it was a nice change of pace and very enjoyable. The retro was just phenomenal. This would be a great cigar for a gift for somebody who doesn't smoke cigars very often. I think that would, and it's not going to break the bank. It's at the price point that I saw it at. I don't know what they cost other places. They might be more or less other places. It was a very beautiful cigar. The wrapper looked fantastic, even for being a year old and surviving PCA and jumbling around in a backpack and stuff like that over New Orleans. I'm trying to really like nail down my rating. I think 4.5 is like the right rating for it for me, and I would potentially pick one up. I don't know any local stores that carry it at the moment, but I also haven't looked for Adrian Magnus because I'd never had. This is my first Adrian Magnus, so I would I'd try one again.
Well, that bears the rule of PCA. The goal of PCA is, hey, get going back to what Grim said. Here's a stick, try it. And
So
we
what would
have
you
done
rate
that. He did
4.5 is
Okay. I missed that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I almost want to rate it higher, but it's not my flavor profile. Like it's a good cigar, and I think that someone who likes like milder cigars this would be like the right increase in flavor, because it is really kind of caramely and sweet, but without being like a sweet tip or something like that. And I didn't get any flavor changes that were, unique or interesting, but it was good the whole way through and zero problems. And it went from no touch-ups with the lighter. It went from being the smoke was perfect to being 500,000 degrees.
Yeah, right there at the end.
Like right there at the end. Like this is how far I got. Right there.
Yeah, that's about the time it went.
It went from nice, cool smoke to 500,000 degrees. I was afraid it was going to melt through my hand and then through my lap and into the floor and straight into the center of the earth.
Nice.
But it went out, so we're safe.
Like a drop lightsaber. Oh, God.
So now Grim is back. He can bestow his rating upon us of his
Bestow his knowledge of the Adrian.
2. No, I'm just joking.
Dang.
No, sorry. My kid tried to set fire to the house. It's fantastic. My kid.
Yes.
Coweta County system education. Anyways, Anyways, it is more like a 3.75 for me. The honey was consistent all the way through, which kind of killed my beer. Which, if I'd have known it was honey, I would not have gotten that beer.
Just for like statistical analysis and data gathering, what beer did you drink?
Yingling.
Okay.
Not a honey friendly beer.
It is not, and that's actually possibly why they have a 3.75. Like, if I'd have paired it with something else, it might have made it to a 4. But with the smoke output was okay, but it didn't have much flavor to it. It just had this light taste of honey to it, and like it wasn't enough for me to be like, wow, I'm enjoying the cigar. And then it basically exploded in my hand towards the end, as far as it goes. For like the wrapper came unbound, and it was mush, and so like construction was not really that great. Burned evenly though, so it just, as I said, I'm not huge on infused cigars. Like, as long as I prepare for them with a good pairing, like if I know what it is beforehand, I usually do okay. But in this particular instance, I kind of got ambushed, and the score's kind of suffering for it.
Valid.
All right.
That's fair.
And
So
on
you
that
you
note-
paired orange juice with your
Toothpaste.
toothpaste.
Exactly. I brushed my teeth, and I'm like, man, what do I want to drink? And I'm like, orange juice.
That's a great
And I
idea.
just chugged the entire fucking thing, and I'm like, you know what? This was a terrible idea. I should not have done this.
On that note, we're going to say good night.
Good night.
See you.
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for the care packages. That
Oh, no problem, man. Those are some good smokes. I had to share them.
the tea tastes a little weird though.
Tea?
Yeah, the pack you sent, the Bovita.
You used a Bovita pack as a tea bag?
Yeah, why?
It's not tea, dude.
Seriously? Am I gonna die?
You're probably not going to die because Bovita uses purified water, natural salts, food grade gelatin. But it's for your cigars, not for you, buddy.
Oh?
If you would have read the pack, it says two-way humidity control
I
for
don't know what it
your
means.
cigars. Well, two-way humidity control means that if there's too much humidity in your humidor, then it'll take some out. If there's not enough, it'll put some in, creating the perfect homeostasis for your cigars to get that perfect result. Well, almost perfect result. You can't help the cigar. Bovita has nothing to do with the cigar itself. But
That's the fair point.
It'll keep it in good shape to smoke.
Hey.
And if you would have read it and stopped putting everything in your freaking mouth, you might not have an upset stomach at the end of the day.
I don't do that.
Dude, you ate a crayon in front of me.
I told you I thought it was a Tootsie Roll.
Bovita, the leading provider of humidification products to show the love your cigars need. It's not tea.